Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Another weekly edition of League of Inches, and we've got everything out of the way. Let's just focus on grand final this time and talk at nothing but grand final. But first of all, I just want to touch on one thing for everyone. And obviously, we're coming to the end of the season. We're going to keep going throughout the off season. Won't be as often. The post will still be there. Videos will be a little bit less, just for a few, probably a month or two, just to give us a little bit of a break. Well deserved, I think. But just a massive thank you to everyone out there, all the fans, everyone who's sort of liked, given us some feedback, commented on posts, tagged, shared, everything. So it's pretty crazy to think at the start of the year, we basically had probably 100 followers on Instagram and maybe a couple of hundred if we were lucky on Facebook. And it's just shot up now to, we've got 1,450 on Insta already and 4,650 on Facebook. So it's massive, guys. Really, really big thank you to everyone. As I said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be around, have a couple of weeks off just from the video side of things. And look, as a special, guys, as a big thank you, we are going to, I'll officially release it now. We will be releasing just a little bit of merch. So some hats and some shirts to come very, very shortly. They're actually already been ordered as well. So look, I know a lot of places out there do them. What we're going to do a bit different, though, is actually have them priced accordingly. So we want everyone to have these. We want families. We want kids. Everyone out there who is a league fan and a fan of ours to get hold of these. So they're not going to be priced out of the roof like I've seen a lot of these places sort of things do. They price them out, but we're there to say thank you to everyone and give you guys a bit back. So thank you. I'll get the guys in now. We haven't seen Dane for a week or so. He's been off. And the one thing with Dane, guys, I've been hanging out with him this week. I don't know if it's because the Roosters are out or not. We're about to dig into this, but you've been a bit fired up, Dane. Can we share the viewers as to why?
Oh, look, I just think it's a bit of a circus just with all the media and the attention and just rubbish that gets posted in social media. There's nothing really that good that they're posting at the moment, except for the grand final. And I just think it's poor on the media side of things. And, people are going out, they're having a bit of fun. And I just think the refereeing has really sort of made me a little bit hot under the collar as well, just with some of the inconsistencies. And, that's just from my point of view, but everyone's got their own point of view. And it's just, it's good to bring it to a close, and hopefully we can have a more normal sort of year next year. Let's cross our fingers and toes on that one. But be good to get this season over with, Panthers or Rabbitohs to win, and let's move forward.
Yeah, well, look, I'm the same as you, Dan. I feel like the refereeing has sort of put a bit of a blight on the game this year and the way the NRL has run some things, but I'm going to try and focus on that in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to try and be a bit more positive about that for this episode. Sid, you were with me at the start of this whole thing. We were together when you actually came up with a name. No one sort of knows this yet, but you came up with this name. How about the support quickly this year?
Yeah, it's one of those things that the bigger it got, the more excited we got. And because we got more excited, it got bigger. So it was a snowball effect, and momentum just shot through. We created the Facebook page and then just started doing posts. And the posts you found were good because people, want to have their opinion. And then we started joining all the different teams, fan clubs, and we were welcomed in as well. That was good. And now you just mention anything about Dragons, so I share it to about 8 or 9 groups. You mention something about Roosters, and Dane will share it to the 20 Roosters fans out there and stuff like that,
Just a little dig in there. Look, I want to start the grand final show with a weapon of the week, and it's a guy who I think stands out for a number of reasons, and we've all probably got our own say on this guy. That's how good he has been over a long period of time. But if it is his last one, what a way to go out. I really hope that they win it for him, and it's Benji Marshall. So I'll let you guys go first on this one, Dane. Benji in his career, if it is the last one, even if it isn't, it's pretty remarkable. He played, 16 years ago for the Tigers, and he's back here in a completely different role, but probably just as, if not more, influential.
Yeah, look, Benji Marshall, he created the flick pass. He was the guy out there whacking people on the field, and he's still got it. However old he is, he's still got it. But, if I had to play him on a touch footy field or something like that, I'd still be very, very wary, even at his age. That flick pass, he's won a grand final. It's been a long time between drinks, and I think he deserves to be there. And who knows, he might go another round. If he wins, he might retire.
Yeah.
Maybe if he does win, he might go around another year. He's just been great for the sport. He has been a real role model. He's got a good sense of humour. He's aged well. And he's looked after himself. So, it's a credit to him, his career, whether it comes to an end, this weekend or whether it doesn't. And I think he's been a great role model for the kids out there and a good face for rugby league.
I've agreed. He's been one of the really good guys and sort of clean skins of the game. And Sid, I'll touch on it a little bit earlier, just the way he's been able to transition his game from, as Dane said, that guy that was able to step a whole team. Look, he's still got past that, but I think now it's more of that game management style. Last week we've seen it. We've seen South Sydney jet off to an early lead, and Wayne Bennett brought him on after about 30 minutes, which I thought was weird at the time. But now I sit back and think about it. It was probably perfect, because then before the rest of South Sydney can get ahead of themselves and think, let's just keep rolling on these points, he sort of went, all right, let's just get back into what we're supposed to do here and get into that game mode again. So what's impressed you most about the revolution of Benji Marshall?
You know what? The great ones almost have two careers. We saw it with Fittler going from centre to lock. A world-class centre, winning it at Penrith, and very early in his career, then went to lock and then won it at Roosters. A new player, Lockyer, did the same thing. He was a fullback, went to 5'8". You have Benji, who's light stepping, magician type player, to a game manager, as he called it, spot on, and he bought himself two careers, and he's 36 this year. He's a great guy, a great club man. I met him once at the urinals at in a nightclub.
We don't need to know any more of that story, Sid. We don't need to know what you did.
I didn't look down because I didn't want to get embarrassed. So, but he's like, "Hey, bro, how are you, bro?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool, man. This is Benji Marshall." He goes, "Yeah." I was at Sapphire nightclub in the Cross the days before the world was scared of oxygen. You would go out,
mate.
But I do want to pose a question, and maybe you can put it on the poll on Insta. Is he the greatest import the Australian rugby league's ever seen? I think he is.
Can you think of anyone? I reckon he's more so because of his influence he's had on the game and the youngsters especially. I think he's revolutionized. I remember being a kid, everyone wanted to be Benji Marshall. The step and people who didn't even like the Tigers were tuning in watching him. And I actually said this on a video yesterday, and I would not be surprised if, say, in 10, 15 years' time, he's in that chat for becoming an immortal or a Hall of Famer for the league. I think that highly of Benji Marshall. And Dane, you got anything more for that question? But I'll definitely be putting that to the page for sure.
Yeah, look, I think they should create a statue of Benji Marshall doing a whack and a flick pass at the same time.
I like
Just
that.
honoring.
Hopefully it's better than the Matt Scott one we've recently seen.
I don't know, some 5-year-old made that.
Look, Sid, you've touched on it brilliantly. You've done a great segue for us here, because Flog of the Week, I don't want to say much on it. I'm literally just going to say COVID, full stop. That is literally all I'm going to say in this matter. I'm overhearing it. I'm over everything it's doing to the country and the world that we live in. If it destroys this grand final, it's just going to be disgraceful. So from a footy point of view, I can't wait for Sunday, and please be on and do not overreact. I'm getting really sick of it. But let's get into some of these massive talking points for this game. And the first one I want to ask both of you guys, I'll go to you, Sid, first, would you rather be coming into this as the winner or the loser of when they last played, which was the first week of the finals? And South, we all know, got the victory.
Okay. Historically, the loser usually plays better because you learn more from a loss, as you know, in life. But yeah, historically the loser, but I just think Souths are too professional. It'll be the same thing. It'll be the same thing, experience versus the youth, both on and off the field, on and in the coach's box. But that's another story. I'm sure we're going to go to our tips later.
Yep. Dane, who would you rather be?
Oh, look, I'd rather be the Panthers, to be honest, because I heard a little fact that no team has played 2 grand finals back-to-back and lost the second one after they've lost the first one.
Oh, hang on.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you've got that stat wrong. Your team did it.
Okay.
The Roosters lost.
I'm proven wrong then. I heard it today, and I haven't looked into it.
Because Brett Finch was talking about it.
I would rather be the Panthers.
Yeah. So, what would they have learned from that first game against our first finals week against South?
I don't know. Well, it's going to be a different South team because Latrell played in that game. Yeah.
Nah, for finals week 1. Have you been this last year? You're on cloud 9. How many beers you had tonight?
Yeah, well, look, I think they're playing a different style of footy.
Yeah.
I think they've learned from it. I reckon if they take it to South like they did to Melbourne and play that fast style like they did at the start of the season, I think they're unstoppable. I'm not saying they're going to punish the Rabbitohs, but I think they can beat them.
I'm on the fence for this one. I can see arguments for both sides. Definitely can see where Penrith would have learnt from that. And I can definitely see South Sydney gaining confidence from that win as well. They played just, I don't know, it was sort of a weird game last week. They were sort of in second gear for a lot of it and just coasted through. And then all of a sudden we're on this massive scoreline. So crazy. I think the big thing coming in is that both teams have a key playmaker under an injury cloud. And it's an injury where one knock, they could be off the field for the rest of the game. That's how bad one knock could be for either Cleary or Reynolds. So that's going to play a big part, I think, on the weekend as well.
But both teams don't have Benji Marshall on the bench.
Yeah, very, very true. Very, very true. We've just spoken about him. So let's go first of all why we think Penrith can win it. So a lot of Penrith fans out there that watched, and let's go through the reasons why we think Penrith will win. Dane, it sounds like you're on the Penrith bandwagon early. So give us your reasons why.
I think the defense is really, really strong. They proved that last week against Melbourne. They're fast, they're young, they're hungry. They don't want to lose another grand final. They want to win this. Look, not saying that South don't, but I just think even more so that Panthers really want that win this year. Yeah,
that bounce back factor is a dangerous one. They've been there, done it literally 12 months ago, and that would literally have fire in the belly all year when the going got tough. They were there probably thinking about last year, and there's some people out there have a slight worry that maybe last weekend was their grand final then because they beat the Storm, and that was them getting up after a big game against their arch rivals, the Eels, the week before as well. So is there much left in the tank for them? But I think what you're saying is very valid, that fire in the belly. Sid, if you are tipping South, what have you worried about the Penrith Panthers?
Well, definitely the defence, but I think Souths are very dangerous for Penrith because Penrith, while they got the right lead, like Dane said, they got the best. I read somewhere that they got the best defence this season in 41 seasons.
Wow!
Least tries conceded, least points conceded in 41 seasons. But when you rely on defence and your attack isn't so crash hot at the moment, you get 2 tries behind and things change. You start playing jungle ball and there's going to be a problem. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. If it depends, if they're at Suncorp, maybe a little bit of dew in the afternoons, not too sure. Shouldn't be too bad. Townsville will be dry as, so that would impact the game as well, and how it's probably going to be played. For Penrith, I really just like the halves combo. Cleary and Luai have played together so long. They've obviously played in many grand finals coming throughout the younger age, and that's a big sort of factor for mine why Penrith, if they do go on and win this, I predict either one of those will get the Clive Churchill if Penrith are to come away with the win. South Sydney boys, glory to South Sydney. Their South fans are hoping that's what they are hearing at about 8:30 at night on Sunday. Sid, you are sounding like you're leaning towards the Bunnies. Give us your reasons why.
Well, Wayne Bennett factor. He's had what 7 grand finals and 1 or more. He's been there, done that. Benji Marshall's won one as well, so he's a calming influence. Nothing beats a coach on the field, and that's what Benji will be. We touched on it a few weeks ago. They have a very familiar game plan, and certain things are more than a coincidence. That it's Bennett's working his magic in the way they play. Very similar to 2010 when the Dragons won it, and it's just they're almost cruising, like you said. That you described last week's game where they were just grinding and grinding. All of a sudden, they scored 32 points. That happened on the grand final. That happened a few times when the Dragons won it, because that's the Bennett style. They don't lift. It's weird because they don't lift intensity to win, but then the score just ticks over. They just have a way of manipulating the game, and body blows in boxing, like putting a grubber in and getting a drop out. They're putting a grubber in, they're getting a drop out. That's body blows, and it tells on the other team, and the scoreboard ticks over later. They don't panic. So it's just, I think that's where, but not to discount what Penrith can do. They're a brilliant young team. I'm expecting 2 premierships if they can keep this team together. That's how young they are, and they have won comps together in junior grades. It's just it's unlucky that they're going against Wayne Bennett and this red hot South Sydney team.
On the Wayne Bennett factor, I'll give my reasons now. Is Bennett for mine? This is his last chance, because if I sit down and actually thought about it like I did today, was that after this year he's going to have a year off coaching. He's pretty much guaranteed to get. It looks like at this stage the Dolphins, when they come into the comp in 2 years' time, that'll be a team that they build. So I don't see him any chance to win a comp in probably a 2 to maybe 3 year maximum spell that he'll have there to help him get going. So this is Wayne Bennett's last time. It's his last time to really put down the basically his hand and whack the table and say, I am the best coach of all time. So if he can get it done, I believe that's probably what he'll deservedly get. I also think the Reynolds factor is huge. I think Adam Reynolds leaving, he's pretty much the son of the Rabbitohs, and obviously hurts him going. But I think they'll want to do it for him, send him out with another premiership ring for him. I like the fact that last week when Blake Taaffe made that early mistake, 5 minutes later he came up with that outstanding cutout ball to Alex Johnson to set up the try. Now, if he didn't do that and went into his shell, I wouldn't be as confident with the Bunnies. But the fact that the kid actually got up and just went straight away like, yeah, whatever, made a mistake, moving on. It shows me that Latrell's done a lot of work with him throughout the week. Same with Bennett and his playmakers. So, and Cody Walker's numbers this year are phenomenal. I've never seen. I know Turbo and Cleary are having great seasons. Don't get me wrong. I just looked at the stats. Obviously, we put him up the other day of Walker, and now he has some crazy numbers. His try assists and line break assists are next level. Dane,
it's in the mid-30s, right?
What was that?
It's in the mid-30s, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like 33 line break assists and 44 try assists or something. It's just insane.
Yeah.
I thought I've read something wrong when I read it, and I triple checked it, and it was I couldn't believe it. Dane, you're looking like you're on the Panthers bandwagon. We'll get the official tip shortly. What has you worried about South?
Look, definitely the Wayne Bennett factor. That cannot go unnoticed. Cody Walker, I mean, as you both just touched on, his numbers are just phenomenal this year, and he's been very, very consistent. Reynolds from a halves and also from a kicking point of view. So, his conversion rate is pretty solid. So if they score, they generally convert. And those extra 2 points there, they're really going to add up in a game like a grand final. Yep. I think the experience as well. So some of the players have played grand finals before. And yeah, I just think they've been pretty strong across the park. So, they've been up there all year. They've got that finals experience, and I think if they get out of the blocks quick, like Sid touched on, you start getting a bit of that, just throwing the footy around, a bit of desperation. So I think the real key is whoever gets out of the blocks the quickest, they're inside the other team's head. They'll just start forcing mistakes and, just put them to the sword.
Just a quick one on Cody Walker. I know we're talking about his stats have been phenomenal, but I just want to focus on last week's game where Reynolds was clearly injured. He was impacted with his leg, and that was preventing him from kicking. Now, he normally gets South Sydney out of a lot of trouble with his boot. He's been phenomenal with that all year, up there with Cleary's kicking game, and everyone rates that so highly. I've Adam Reynolds very close to Cleary this year, but he stepped up, Cody Walker, and played a different style that I'm not used to Cody Walker playing. I think if there's any knock on Cody Walker's career so far, it's been in the big games. I'm talking about Origins and maybe other bigger club games. He's probably gone a little bit missing, where last week he actually stood up and became the main guy while his captain was sort of the on-field coach, so to speak, and sort of trying just to get around on one leg. He wasn't goal kicking. He was obviously clearly impacted. And I think for the first 20, 30 minutes, he didn't even do a general play kick. So Cody Walker really stepped up and just put another level to his game, which we all know has been so good this year. On that, boys, there's one question that's come through, a fan question that I looked at and really wanted to ask both you boys. Who's more likely to kick a 40-20? This is from another page, Ruin Hammer, who've been good supporters of ours, gives us shout-outs and things like that. So love your work, boys. But who's more likely to kick a 40-20, Cleary or Reynolds? Sid, I'll go with you.
It's got to be Cleary because Reynolds is not kicking at the moment. But they're both all capable, definitely, and a two-point field goal too.
And what did we see last week? Didn't we see a 20-40 for the first time all year? I'm pretty sure we did.
Brandon Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Edwards was just staring at the ball for some reason, asking it to go out, and then next minute they're all like, mate, that's a 20-40. Read the rule books, bloke. Seriously. Dane, who's doing it, Cleary or Reynolds?
Saying Cleary. Reynolds is too short.
Can't see the 20-meter line.
I met the bloke too. Like he's really, really short. I'll say Cleary. I think he's obviously just in terms of how good his boot is. But I tell you what, in the grand final, it's going to be hard to kick a 40-20. Everyone's going to be on their game, so if they can get one, credit to them. All right, boys, prediction times. It's going to be, I want a winner, I want a score line, and I want a Clive Churchill medalist. So, Dane, you can take it away here. Panthers by...
Before Sid falls asleep.
Panthers by 12, and I'm going to have to say Cleary.
Oh, look out. Sid? Actually, hang on. Dane, can you also chuck a first try scorer in, please? Just want to do it for a multi.
I'm going to go with To'o.
Oh, there we go. I'll tell you what, that's some pretty nice picks there. Sid?
Gamble responsibly.
My first try scorer, I've been really liking, South's left side's been getting all the praise, but Campbell Graham, he reminds me of Gaznia in his prime. He doesn't look like he's going fast, and he just keeps beating defenders, and he's been in a bit of a purple patch. I think he's been my first try scorer, Campbell Graham. I reckon South to win well. I reckon at least 14 points, probably 8 to 14 points, because they love a penalty goal under Wayne Bennett. And the Clive Churchill's going to be Cody Walker. I'm not going to get fancy. I'm going to go with what's in form,
Yeah. Okay. So South to win as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, you already said South to. Mate, sorry, mate. I was just a bit out there. There's a storm in the background.
What cloud are you on?
There's a storm in the background, guys. And a fun fact about me, I'm petrified of them. So I'm a bit shaken up at the moment. It's scaring the absolute shit out of me.
Hiding.
Look, for me, I'm doing this on a bit of a personal level. All year, I've actually tipped South to win the comp. So I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm still going strong with my predictions. So I'm going to stick with them. I think they'll win it by 1. I'm going to say a field goal, a late field goal. So South by 1. To'o to score the first try. So I'm going to go the opposite. I reckon Penrith will start hard, but tire out as the game goes on with a harder schedule for finals. And Clive Churchill, I'm going to go a fairy tale finish to his career at South Sydney would be Adam Reynolds. I think he'll kick the field goal and step up and get the Clive Churchill. So we've got 2 South Sydney supporters here and a Penrith fan. The funny thing is I'm
not a Penrith fan.
Well, a Penrith tipster, he's thinking with his pockets, guys. So he wants some cash sports bet. Help him out, please. Look, that's it, boys. That's a fantastic year overall. I think it's fair to say with all these
Just
videos.
a quick one, Joel. Update on the League of Inches footy tipping comp. What's the standings at the moment? How could it pan out based on, the top of the
I think there's only
table
2 left and there's 1 point in it. So, and this is a big one because you get a bonus 2 points in ours for the tip right. So I think it's fair to say we're both going to be going opposite right now. And it's whoever wins this one will win the tipping comp. So that's another thing. Thanks, guys, for being part of that, the Supercoach and the fantasy. So the 2 winners for the fantasy and Supercoach haven't reached out to the page yet. I've put a post out. So please, guys, send us a message. We'll get your prizes out to you. But yeah, the tipping comp, I tell you what, it comes down to the final one. How good's that been? I think Sid's got a sore neck from looking up at us. He's that low on the ladder. Sid, any final words? It's been a big year, something that you've been along for the ride for, so appreciate that. Any just quick ones for the fans out there?
You, me?
Yeah, you can go, mate.
No, the other Sid.
Yeah.
The one that's awake, yeah?
What planet are you on?
No, look, I'm hoping that the game evolves right and they just weed out the crap. Just stop mucking around with big rules. Just tinker a little bit and put some logic back into the game. And then I guarantee you the fans will love you for it. Things like those ridiculous obstructions like that Fafita try a couple of weeks ago, that happened about 20 times in the season. And it causes, there's a balance of anxiety and joy in the game. But this year there was a lot of anxiety and it's at a tipping point. And it's up to them what they want to do with this wonderful product, greatest game of all. Let's enjoy the grand final. Hopefully next year it's going to be even better.
Perfectly said. Dane, any final words for either the season that's been or the season on League of Inches? It's been a hell of a season. It's been a big one.
Yeah, no, look, I think it's I think just the growth with League of Inches and getting some special guests on like Andy Raymond and NRLW players, seeing the growth on social media, I think it's fantastic. Now we're adding merch in and I think we appreciate all the fans. Everyone's got their own point of view. Have a bit of a G up on the page if you want. We don't mind. We want to see those comments, see people's thoughts. We love talking everything rugby league and, we've all got our own perspectives and things like that. And we just enjoy talking footy. And I just hope that we can have a better, smoother season of NRL next year. And I hope that the powers to be, the referees, they sort out all this rubbish. It was a little bit up and down, hot and cold this year. Set the rules out from round 1. Don't change it halfway through the season. Let's get consistent with the refereeing because at the end of the day, it's a product that's here for the fans and we want to enjoy our footy. I think there's been patches where a lot of people, that aren't even associated with League of Inches, they're on the footy, they're off the footy. And, I felt that a little bit too, but let's just have a nice, smooth season. Weed out all that rubbish and let's, hope COVID also stays away. And, and I think it's been great what the players and coaches and their families have done with, being in bubbles and things like that. So it's been a real tough year. So let's hope it's a better year next year.
Yeah, perfectly said. And you both have summed up pretty much everything that I would have said. I'll just add thanks to you boys for being part of this year. The show rolls on, as I've said, getting bigger and better. Cannot wait. Special shout out to Jason and Josh as well. Unfortunately couldn't make tonight's show, but have been around and been part of the page as well. So really big thank you. Special thank you, as you said, to Andy Raymond and Katie as well, who both came on at sort of difficult times in terms of this things we were discussing, but we're more than happy to have a chat to us and share their honest thoughts and their real thoughts. It was great to hear. And guys, keep chatting with the page. As Dane said, keep interacting. There's other things planned, which we won't announce yet, but definitely check the off season out. We'll have probably the next video will be in probably 2 to 3 weeks. We'll discuss some off-field shenanigans. We don't want to touch on that this video. So good luck to South Sydney. Good luck to Penrith Panthers. Both have had cracking years. Both deserve the premiership. Only one can have it. So for mine, glory to South Sydney.